Hi, this is Todd Malicote, the SEO faculty for Market Motive and online marketing consultant at stuntdouble.com, and I'm here with part 2 of SEO for local business with understanding local search ranking factors. In part 1, we talked about an introduction in the importance of local search, as well as why Google is the 800-pound gorilla of the space. In this section, we're going to look at Google local search ranking factors and understanding those and why they're important and how you can use them to your advantage. So we'll look at some of the local search features with the newest versions of Google search, as well as the local ranking factor overviews, looking at each individual factor and what it means. The terminology can sometimes be in depth, so we want to make sure that you have a strong understanding there. The foundational factors of local search, as well as the competitive difference makers for highly competitive areas of local search. And we're also going to look at the negative factors that maybe could hurt your site if you're doing something wrong or trying to exploit the system. So the local search features, in air quotes, what I mean by this is based on a presentation that Dr. Pete Myers did at MozCon, and it was called Beyond 10 Blue Links, the Future of Ranking. And the idea came from Google used to just be 10 blue links, and now they have all these features. They have images, they have product search, they have knowledge graph, they have carousel, they have maps. So we're going to focus on the local search features that are significant to local search. If you'd like to find all of those local search features and see what every one of those are, it's a great presentation from Dr. Pete. You can find that on SlideShare. So some of these features that are important to local search would be maps. Obviously, when the maps pop up in the local search, people click on that a whole lot of times. And then these local listings here, sometimes called the local 7-pack or the local 10-pack, depending on how many are there, are also associated and tied to that map functionality. The knowledge graph box is another search feature that's becoming important. You can see if it pushes out all the ads and shows your listing there for your branded search, showing your reviews. This could be very important if someone searches for your brand. And you can see David Mims' personal brand there. He has a very nice listing. So Google Carousel or Local Carousel is a newer player in this search feature space. You can see we have this black box up here that lists all of the people that are on the maps, and you can imagine how important that is, having a listing right at the top in addition to the different areas of the search results. Another feature is click to call. If you're searching on a mobile device, you'll get something that looks a little bit like this, and you can click directly on that call button and it will call you directly. We missed out when we were merging our local business from Places to Plus. We're no longer listed in this click to call, and our call volume dropped by about 30% because so many people were just searching on the mobile phone for fishing in Miami and hitting click to call. By losing that one listing, we really lost some significant business. So you have to be very careful with the understanding of all these local search features. The Venice update in March 2012 became very, very important, and what that did was, based on where you are, it localized your search. So if I'm searching from Miami, or in this case Las Vegas, I would receive local search results, not necessarily national ones like it was prior to this update, and it would decipher my location so that if I search for just divorce attorney, I would get Nevada divorce attorneys, or if I searched for just fishing charters and I was in San Diego, I would get San Diego fishing charters. I can still search for San Diego fishing charters while I'm in Miami, but if I just put in the keywords and no location, it's going to give me results based on my location. And this was a significant change in the way Google presented search results with regards to local, and certainly impacts mobile as well. So you can see why claiming these Google listings are so important. We've went over this time and time again. With all of these different features, to be a part of these areas, you need to claim your listings, and you need to be consistent with your name, address, and phone number in those listings. When you claim those listings, it gives you the opportunity to put in photos and to add other credibility indicators for when people search for your brand. If we just looked at a high-level overview like we did in part 1, this would be the breakdown. The signals that come from the Google Places page itself are 20% of that. On page, meaning on your actual website, that's another 20%. Other signals from local directories, IYPs, 16%, 15% being link signals. This counts citations or external location signals, local directories. you'll hear those referred to as citations rather than links sometimes. If it includes your name, address, and phone number, it's sometimes deemed a citation rather than a link. So social is important, and some other areas here of importance. But all of the local ranking factors will boil down to relevance, distance, and prominence. If you're relevant to the search result, if you're within the distance of the person searching, if you're in that local area, and then how prominent you are within that vertical. So I'm just going to look at 20 ranking factors. You can see the entire list of local search ranking factors at Moz. I just want to focus on what each of these top 20 are. And so for the first top 10, this is the top 10, proper category associations. So when you get your listing, you're going to look at Google Plus and you're going to edit that business information. Chances are your business is already there if you have an existing business, if you haven't verified it yet, and you'll claim that listing. Once you claim that listing, you'll associate yourself with the business, and then you can edit the information, and you can put in this category information. You can see we're listed under a boat rental service, fishing charter. You can do up to 5 here, and you want to make sure that they're very relevant. The proper category is really important to a good listing, to coming up for the keywords that you're hoping to come up for. You can see this is within the Google Plus dashboard. You can search for these within here, or Mike Blumenthal's has a nice tool here where you can search and find those categories before you list them there. Number 2 on the list is physical address in the city of the search. Obviously this is important. If I want to rank for Miami fishing charters or for Miami doctors or dentists, I need to have an address in Miami. If I'm that dentist in New York, I need to have an address in New York. So these are pretty fundamental foundational factors, but you do have to have that business location within the geo area that you're targeting. People get creative sometimes, and we have some people that are fishermen maybe that don't necessarily have a location at a marina, but they list there anyway. This is really kind of against the terms of service. You should have a physical address in that location, and they'll eventually catch up with you if you do that sort of thing. So consistency in your structured citations, name, address, phone number. You'll hear it, and NAP plus W referred to sometimes, and that's your name, address, phone number, and website. This is such a huge thing. It's fundamental, but you need to have a local address, a local phone number, and your website should list all these things and be consistent as well, and your name should obviously be consistent. So let's talk for a moment about this idea of structured citations. A structured citation is one of those local providers or IYPs in a local area that lists your name, address, phone number. So they may not even list your website. Hopefully they do. If they list your website, it's a link also, but a link and a citation are very similar but different sometimes. So a structured citation will be something like Yelp or TripAdvisor or Best of the Web Local or Yahoo Local. Any of these sites that have directories about different businesses in different geovertical areas, that's where you're going to get a structured citation. And the consistency of your name, address, phone number in these places is very important. So if you have some discrepancies there that you discover in Yext or with the Get Listed tool, it's important to correct those at the different citation providers. That's a structured citation is a website, is a link, but it's also a local directory. So the quality and authority of these citations, you can see with TripAdvisor, I can measure the page authority of that page. It looks like there's 350 links. I assume they're mostly internal links going to that page, but I can see that there's very good page authority of that citation. The quality of that citation is high, and then they're linking back to our website, which certainly helps us. So we want the high quality citations. If you go out and do these directory listings, you want to get the most high quality ones. One way to find that is to go to this local citation finder from Whitespark and see your competitors that are doing well, where they're getting citations. You can see Yelp. This is just the free version where he blurs out some of these, but I can check the domain authority in here and see where people are getting their better citations. So quality and authority of citations is important. So we want to get those high quality, high authority citations first. Those are the places we want to start, certainly, to make our work most worthwhile. So HTML on your website, the name, address, phone number matching your place page name, address, phone number. So this is, again, where consistency is important. You can see on our Plus local Google page, I'm going to use Miami Fishing Charters for all of these examples. 34 Pan American Drive matches our address there, right down to the pier and slip number, right down to the phone number. Name, address, phone number consistency between these two places, and really between all of your citations, is extremely important. The quantity of your structured citations, you can see some of our competitors here with the local citation finder. The reward has 220 mentions of their name, address, phone number, and we could go through and find their best ones and list ourselves with those places. We can see with some of the other sites it's not quite as substantial, 10 to 100 in some of the top 8 search results, but we would want to go and look at some of these structured citations, because not only is quality, but quantity is certainly important as well, and consistency in those quantitative structured citations. Another place we can check for the amount of citations is just with a backlink check. Again, links and citations aren't necessarily the same thing, but they're pretty similar in a lot of ways. So the domain authority of the website, this is speaking about your website specifically, and again I'm going to use Miami Fishing as the example. So not your places page, but the domain authority of your actual website, and we can measure that with the Moz bar and looking at the root domain authority. We can look at our competitors as well through Open Site Explorer and kind of compare where we're at with our domain authority versus where our competitors at. An individually owned and verified local plus page. So firstly, you have to be a part of Google Plus, you have to have an account there, and then you have to verify this business. We went through the verification process. Then you'll see once you log in that you're the manager of this page. You click on manage this page and it will take you to that marketing dashboard. You can also see that there's a little verified local business by someone who has already claimed that listing. Next factor we're going to look at is the city state in the place's landing page title. So what this means is our landing page from our places page is our website. So our website in this case is miamifishing.com. So once we go to that and look in the title tag, which is also what shows up in the search results, you can see that we have Miami, Florida in that page title. And that's also what comes up for that search result, which helps with click-through rate and having that city, state, and then of course the activity or the type of business in that title tag is very important, and in the top 10 local search ranking factors. Rounding out that top 10 is the proximity of your address to the city centroid. This used to be a lot more important. It's now kind of dipped into the lower rungs of the top 20 or into the mid rungs of the top 20. Just where you are for that city center. The city center is not necessarily the downtown area, as you can see with Miami, or the city center. It is the centroid, which is what Google deems as the entire area, that entire radius, and then it's the center of that. City centroid is a little bit different than city center, and that's important to keep in mind. If you do a search for your city and the city name, like Miami, Florida, that button there, or that little red dot, will tell you where the city centroid is. Number 11 is the quality and authority of your inbound links to the domain. Again, very similar to citations. Citations can be links, but not all links are citations. So that's how that works. So you can see we have 39 root linking domains and 425 total links, and that we can look at the quality and authority of each of those individual links through a tool like Open Site Explorer. We can also take a look at the quality and authority of the inbound links to the domain of our competitors by looking at something like the competitive research tool from Moz. And you can see this is the domain authority and page authority of the top 10 search results for the competition in that top 10 for Miami Fishing. So we can take a look and see the domain authority that we're up against and what we need to be competitive there. So the quality and authority of those inbound links, and then of course we can try to get some of their links as well. The quantity of native Google Places reviews. This means the quantity and probably quality of the reviews that people have left you on Google+. And these are really important. You can see it's in the top 20 search results. You can look at those reviews by clicking on the reviews in Google Carousel or off Google Maps. You'll see those reviews for your business, and they are very important to your business and future business, so keep those customers happy. Number 13 is the product and service keywords in the business title. You can see we got very lucky with that one, and it wasn't exactly luck. We knew that this was important. We knew that these were our keywords, so we made our company what we do. We do fishing in Miami. That's what people look for. We put that in our business name and title, and it has certainly worked well. You can see with other companies having just fishing charters, we were lucky enough to get the location, but if you can't get the location, you can probably at least say what you do. So Double Threat Fishing Charters is another fishing charter in the Miami area, and they've included that keyword in their business title or their business name. The quantity of citations from locally relevant domains. You can see we got a link from Miami Carpet Cleaning, and they just happened to put this one up because they put links to all kinds of Miami things. But this is in our general local area, so it's relevant on the local level, even though Miami Carpet Cleaning might not be relevant specifically to what we do. A really, really good high authority link in a local area that our competitors can't get would be our link from Dinner Key Marina, which is a publicly run marina, and you'd have to be on that marina to get that link. That was a wonderful citation for us, and it's from a local relevant domain. So both, again, the quantity and probably quality of these is going to be important as well. Number 15 is the quantity of citations from industry relevant domains. This wouldn't be geo or local specific. This would be vertical or industry specific. So we have a link on fishingcharters.com. We have a listing there and a link. This is a citation from an industry relevant domain. So if you're a dentist, you're going to get links from other dentists around the country, or links from other doctors around the country if you're a doctor. These are going to be specific to your industry or vertical. Number 16 is the proximity of the physical location to the point of search. You have really no influence over this, but the person who's searching for you, are they in that local area, is really what this is saying. And that's going to influence whether you come up on the search results or not. The local area code on your local Plus page, this is hugely important. We first had an 800 number and we almost shot ourselves in the foot. So we went back and got a local 786 number. It's nice and fine to have a toll-free number, but you need a local area code for your local Plus pages. And you need it to be consistent across all of your citations. And this is really one of the number one areas where people get screwed up sometimes. If they're trying to do call tracking and they have multiple phone numbers, you can really cause yourself some headache and problems there by not having consistency in those phone numbers if you're using call tracking software. So make sure you have one consistent phone number that you use throughout your name, address, phone number citations. Number 18 is the city and state in most all of your website title tags. You can check this by doing a cite command in Google. You can see I did cite:@miamifishing.com, and I can see the list of all of my 300 pages, and if they have Miami and fishing, or some of them it looks like don't have state in those titles, so I could probably add state instead of just Miami fishing. I might add Florida or Miami, Florida in there someplace. This is one of the areas that I do have control over, so I'm going to take advantage of those where I can. So check with that cite command if you have city and state in most of all of your website title tags. Your quantity of third-party reviews. You can check this at getlisted.org, and right under that reviews tab there, and that's going to show you all the different reviews you might have on Yelp, on Yahoo Local, on Google+. So you can check those, see how many you have. The quantity is important. It shows up in the Google search results. It shows up in Plus Local, and people are going to read those reviews. So those, make sure you're incentivizing people to get those reviews wherever possible, and doing good work so that you get great reviews. And rounding out the top 20 is the page authority of your Places page landing page URL. You can see we just redirected ours, so I didn't measure much page authority just yet right there, but that page authority of that Places page and linking to that is important. So we link to our plus.google.com plus Miami fishing charters from miamifishing.com, and from other, maybe from our Twitter account, maybe from our YouTube channel, maybe from any other sources that we can, to get some link equity, to get some page authority to our plus local listing. So this rounds out the top 20 local search ranking factors. If you have questions, Miriam Ellis did a really nice local search ranking factors illustrated guide, very similar to what I just did here. But you have an idea for these foundational factors now. Being in the proper category, having a physical address. These are foundational. Consistency, the quality and authority of those citations. Having your website, name, address, phone number match your places page. The number and the quantity of those structured citations, the overall domain authority of the website, locally verified plus page, and the proximity. These are all foundational factors. These aren't going to make you necessarily be on top if you have 20 competitors, but they're going to get your foot in the door. They're going to give you the foundation to a strong local presence. The difference makers, however, the things that are going to get you those extra rankings and to focus your efforts on once you have some savvy competitors, is the quality and the authority of those structured citations. Same for the inbound links to the domain. The number of reviews you receive from authority reviewers and people who do this and are power users on Yelp or have significant Google Plus accounts, those reviews are going to count immensely for you. The consistency of those structured citation, again, consistency with name, address, phone number, having citations from industry, vertical, relevant domains, also from local domains, the number of Google Places or Google Plus local reviews and the amount of text associated with those, the domain authority of the overall website, and the quality and authority of unstructured citations, and the citations from all those local domains like Miami Carpet Cleaning or the City of Miami are going to help. Having quantity and quality of citations from those locally relevant domains is very important and truly a competitive difference maker. The page authority, finally, of your place's landing page URL, again, be linking to that place's landing pages from other places as possible. So one last area we want to look at before we wrap up is negative search ranking factors, or things that could hurt your local listing and your local business presence. The first thing is listing at a false location. If you get caught doing this, Google is probably going to slap you and not let you back for a while. So don't try listing closer to the city centroid or claiming somebody else's address. Don't try any dirty tactics like that. Stuffing your keyword in your business name. If your business name is not actually those keywords and you try to put those keywords in there, you could get yourself in trouble. Mismatching your name, address, and phone number with a tracking phone number software, as I mentioned. If you have inconsistent phone numbers throughout the different citation providers, this can cause all kinds of headaches and problems. Please be careful with that one. Trying to list in an incorrect category can be a very negative factor. You might come up in that category or receive less relevance in the category that you should be in. Having multiple pages with a similar name and address. So if you register and then you register again, if you have multiple instances of pages, this can cause problems. If you mismatch your address on places, if your address and phone number on your website versus your address and phone number on places is different, this can cause problems. Mismatch on your places landing page, violations if you're doing something abusive or putting your map on the wrong place, or bad reviews, or lots of different things here. Malware on the site, if somebody hacked your website and put malware on it, this can cause, is obviously a big negative factor and can cause problems for your users, and Google will probably drop you from your listings if you have positive listings. The absence of a crawlable name, address, phone number. Make sure you have that on your website and not just in image form, but in text and crawlable form. So that's it for local search ranking factors. We looked at the search features, we looked at some foundational factors, we looked at the things that are going to make a competitive difference if you're in a competitive area. We also looked at some things that could hurt your website if you're not doing it right. So in part 1, we did the introduction to local search and why it's important. Now you have an understanding of the top 20 local search ranking factors. And for the last part in our series, we're going to look at optimizing and improving those local business listings for a better SEO presence. Thank you for joining me.